Hi, my name is Peter, and in this video, we're going to walk through how to set up the chat channel. So in previous videos, we already set up the voice workstream, and now it's time to set up the chat channel. So to do that, we go to channels. As you saw in the previous video, we already provisioned the chat channel through message channels, managed channels, and now we got the chat channel right here. So the chat channel is the native chat, right? So I didn't add anything yet, so that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to add one. Let's say this is just our chat, right? Just going to name it chat. You pick a language, in this case English, and there's a few things that we can go over regarding how it looks, right? So you see it here on the side, and we will go into all of the details in a different video. We're going to show you all of what every little thing does. So in this case, it will immediately ask you, do you want to set up a workstream? And we didn't have a workstream yet for chat, so let's set one up here as well. Persistent chat, again, do you want to the customers to be able to even send chats when there are no agents online, right? So that's very helpful. I mean, you can pick it up anytime as an agent later when you come back online, right? On the other end, sometimes obviously you don't want that. Chat is more of a synchronous channel, while messaging is felt more like an asynchronous channel. Everyone thinks if you add WhatsApp, like, okay, I don't mind then when a message comes in a day later, but if I, as a customer, go to a chatbot, I expect an immediate answer, right? So for me, that is a no-go. Do you want to have push or pick, right? Do you want to push that to an agent, or do you want your agents to actually pick it from a list? In this case, we're just going to leave it on push, and I'm going to leave the fallback queue to the default messaging queue. Again, when there's no routing rules that pick this up and route it to a specific queue, it falls back to that one. In this case, this is the queue where all users are a part of. Now we can pick a color scheme, and again, we'll go over that later in a different video. The same with all of the icons. And then here we got the chat widget. So in this case, we'll see the title, we got a logo, and we have a bunch of options where, for example, I can say, hey, I want to have proactive chat. Now, proactive chat is in this case, do you want the chat pop up to open up when customers arrive at your website, right? Do I want to have them be able to reconnect to the previous chat? So in this case, if I want to do that, I can say, hey, if you come back within 6 hours, right, then you can reconnect to the previous chat. If you don't do that, there's a normal time limit. If you come back, it will just start a new conversation, and it will also does pop up at the agent as a new conversation. Obviously, it will be part of the timeline if we recognize you as a user, right? There's opening hours, and this is an important one. Only show the widget on the provided domains. I would always suggest to set this up, right? This will actually limit the possibility to copy that widget code that we're going to be seeing in one of the later steps, and prevent people from copying that widget and putting it on their own website. So this is just fraud protection, flood protection, if you will. Always set this up, I would say. Now, for now, I don't have a domain name where I'm going to put it on yet, so I'll leave this off so we can try it out. But in production, you always want to set that. Now, automated messages, custom automated messages, we saw that with regards to the voice channel on how to actually override the default messaging, and we got some pre-conversation and post-conversation set up here as well. And we're going to deep dive on these specific settings as well in a later video. Now we got authentication, really important. If you want your customers to be able to sign in, right, I can actually say, hey, I want to create a new authentication setting. Now, this is going to be an advanced video as well. This is actually very cool because if you're behind a portal, if you're behind a login, you can set up SSO, you can use OAuth endpoints, or you can use Entra ID endpoints to actually authenticate the users, and then you know exactly who they are without them having to authenticate themselves, right? For example, you can also set your own authentication IDPs. If you're putting this on a bank website, you might want to use your bank login and not your Entra ID login, right? You want as a customer to be able to log in with your bank card or whatever you want to use. And this will allow you to do that. Do we want to show the position in the queue and the average wait time? Also very cool. I'll leave that on. And this is the last one, customer location detection. If you want that location detection, you can set that up, but again, you need to have enabled that data sharing and you have to have a provider for that geolocation. So we're going to leave that off for now. Next screen, user features. Do you want your customers to be able to send file attachment? Do you want them to be able to send photos or files or audio things, stuff like that? Do you want them to hear a sound when a new message comes in? All of this is, well, I love to take to set that to on. That's great. I always say, hey, you also can download your transcripts. I can always also allow that to be emailed. Then you do have to pick a template and an email box that is connected to send it from. So this is a little bit of harder setup. I would say a downloading of the transcripts is fine for me. Do I want to be able to use voice and video calls? So that means that I can actually switch from chat to video, which is great, right? You can elevate your chat to a video call. There's also two options called screen sharing and co-browsing, and these things are also great, but you need a third-party provider. So Microsoft Dynamics is a composable system, meaning that you can actually plug in co-browsing and screen sharing options from third-party providers, and then you can use that, and it will add a little icon on it on the chat widget to be able to do that. So really, really cool. Next one, notification hubs. This is an advanced topic. We'll dive into that later. And then we get to finish. So let's create a channel and see where we end up. Now it takes a minute to actually create it. So have a little patience. And there we go. It has been created and you can see that we are presented with a live chat widget script. This is also available for you on the workstream. So instead of copying it here, we're going to open the workstream to validate everything. And we can see we have English language. We got the button here to copy that live chat widget script that we just saw. We got the behaviors, the user features, everything is in here. Again, we can add bots, we can alter the distribution modes, we can set up routing rules and classification rules. Everything that we have with the voice channels is also in here, right? We're going to dive into all of those things in a little bit.